One of the most popular survival shows in the wilderness was the well-known series Man vs. Wild, where the host, Bear Grylls, was dropped into the most remote locations on the planet, demonstrating to viewers how to survive in the wild. Over the years the show aired, several details emerged that made people question the show's authenticity. Some of these details have even prompted apologies from the show's producers and Grylls himself. In this video, we'll explore all available instances where Bear Grylls didn't tell the whole truth, allowing you to conclude whether Man vs. Wild was true. Mark Weinert, one of the crew members, first exposed Grylls for dishonesty when he revealed that Grylls allegedly slept under a rock near a small rescue fire during their time in the Sierra Nevada mountains.
On this little overhang here, here's all I've really got now. Our shelter for the night.
However, he spent the nights at the luxurious Pines Resort with a spa, a lake, television, stone fireplaces, hot tubs, and internet access. The expose of the Sierra Nevada episode wasn't the only time Grylls was accused of staying in a hotel when he claimed he was spending the night at the mercy of the elements. In episode 9 of season 1, filmed in Hawaii, Grylls called himself a real-life Robinson Crusoe, stranded on a deserted island. In reality, the crew shot this episode near the shores of the Hawaiian Islands, where he once again stayed in a local hotel. Perhaps the show's most fake part is that Grylls relies on a show crew to help him film and provide the necessary tools. The show portrays Grylls surviving by himself with just his wits and brawn, but there are times when the crew helps him build things like rafts and shelter. Even if the crew were not actively helping Grylls, the fact that they are just off-screen gives Grylls the mental support he would not have if he were alone in the wild. The same episode had Grylls building a Polynesian-style raft using only materials around him, including bamboo, hibiscus twine, and palm leaves for a sail. The footage makes it seem as though he is actually constructing the craft, but in reality, survival consultant Mark Weinert and the show's crew put the raft together, then disassembled it so Grylls could make it on camera. As Weinert put it, if you really believe everything happens the way it is shown on TV, you are being a little bit naive. The techniques that Grylls used during the show can be questionable sometimes. Les Stroud, star of the competing Survivor Man show, has pointed out how some of Grylls' techniques don't make sense. For example, once, Grylls tried squeezing water out of elephant dung to satiate his thirst. It simply wasn't possible to do so without pre-soaking the elephant dung. We won't even delve into incidents involving drinking urine, which is a bad idea for many reasons. Though some survivors of extraordinary disasters have drunk their urine to stay alive, the practice is discouraged. Urine contains bacteria and toxins that can be harmful, and its consumption is akin to drinking seawater, which is not beneficial when dehydrated. In an episode of Man vs. Wild that aired in 2007, Bear Grylls and his production team may have taken things a little too far. The episode showed survival techniques that could be used on the Mount Kilauea volcano in Hawaii.
Sulfur dioxide gas forms in volcanoes, and here it's really thick. Look at this, you can actually see the sulfur dioxide here seeping out of these vents. In high concentrations, this gas is a killer.
As it turns out, this scene was faked using artificial smoke to simulate the toxic gas. Sulfur dioxide fumes are colorless and you can't see it, so smoke generators were used off-screen to make the existing fumes seem visible, said a safety advisor for the show. Additionally, the molten lava he warned could burn him in seconds was supplemented by burning coal brought by the filming crew. Next, Grylls says that he is far from civilization, adding that it is perilous to cross this area because of the lava cracks in the ground. However, there's a YouTube video debunking this moment as well. The video shows that the lava crack wasn't significant, and someone could have easily bypassed it. Worse yet, Grylls was near civilization and a road accessible to regular vehicles. However, this isn't the only instance of Bear Grylls and his filming crew using half-truths to heighten the show's drama. In one episode of Man vs. Wild, Grylls was shown coming face-to-face with wild horses. The encounter with the creatures was filmed in the Sierra Nevada mountains, or, as he put it, one of the few places in the US where horses still roam wild.
A chance to use an old Native American mode of transport comes my way.
You should see this is one of the few places in the whole of the US where horses still roam wild.
The thing is, the horses weren't so wild. They were apparently tame and had been trucked in specifically for filming. For the next few minutes, he spends time trying to gain the trust of wild horses, then unsuccessfully attempts to mount one of them. In addition to Mark Weinert, Grylls and his crew often brought on other survival experts as consultants on Man vs. Wild. Survival expert Nick Vrooman's also worked with Grylls on an episode of Man vs. Wild in Western Australia. Vrooman said that while he enjoyed his experience working on the show and thought that Grylls was a good person overall, viewers should know that the show was predominantly scripted ahead of time. Vrooman's also explained, "Everything you see in the show is set up. I built him shelters and found him snakes to eat. It's all for show." Admitting he was disappointed by the episode's final cut, Vrooman's added, "Whatever he does isn't survival, but it's definitely entertaining." But that's not all. In another episode of Man vs. Wild, there is a theatrical moment where Bear Grylls believes that a grizzly bear is stalking him. Footage of something moving in the forest is shown, and he decides to flee his camp in the middle of the night to try to escape. Unfortunately, this scene was completely fake. Instead, it was a crew member in a bear suit. They scripted the bear attack. Producers even attempted to hire a bear trainer with a tamed bear. When that failed, they dressed up one of the colleagues. Later, when Grylls encountered a bear during filming, he gave genuinely terrible advice, recommending people trapped in the woods run from the predator. Bears chase anything that flees from them. Under no circumstances should you run from a bear, not even Grylls' bear. If you thought eating insects or swimming in frozen lakes, these might look like spur-of-the-moment decisions he uses to illustrate potential scenarios, but they are planned out well in advance. Grylls even has a stunt double, Megan Hine, who tests deadly stunts before he performs them for television. And if you still have doubts about the entire program's fake nature, after all this, it is worth saying that in 2008, Bear Grylls admitted to filming fake scenes for the show and apologized for misleading viewers. Grylls said, "If people felt misled on how the series was represented, I'm really sorry for that." Discovery Channel acknowledged its fault and promised that future seasons would be more transparent. They added a 2-second disclaimer at the beginning of each episode. Bear Grylls and the crew receive support when they are in potentially life-threatening situations. Professional advice should always be sought before entering any dangerous environment. Many argue that his advice can be harmful. Others say that Grylls is just showing survival techniques. Therefore, it doesn't matter if the footage is fake. The purpose of this show is to show how you can survive if you were in such a situation, and he should not risk his life for some TV show. As a result, despite many moments in this show being fake, it has valuable survival tips that can be useful in critical situations. It is entertaining primarily, and people should not take these tips and cases shown in the show seriously. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please like and subscribe.